Leslie, the talk on the streets is Ozempic, and I'm going to use the word Ozempic almost like you would say, go get me a Coke. Like, for some reason, that's the one that's sticking. There are other drugs that are being used for weight loss, but that is one of the very popular ones.
I'm pretty shocked how many people that I personally know that are either on Ozempic or one of the other ones. I'm curious where this all started. Was it a celebrity thing and now everyone's doing it?
The root of it is very curious,
Yes,
how did this happen?
yeah.
So we have a doctor. That's because we're not. We play doctors on the radio, but we are not.
Yeah.
From Piedmont Physicians, Dr. Saju Mathew. Hello, Doc.
Hello, Barnes and Leslie. So nice to meet both of you. 99X is my favorite station, so thank you for having me on.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
You're probably the one doctor that listens, because we have, check the scoreboard, we're up to 21 listeners now.
Awesome.
So Leslie had a great question. What are the roots of this being a drug for people that want to drop weight?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. This medication was first manufactured and designed for the diabetes patients. Patients with diabetes has been on this medicine for the last 10 to 15 years, but the hype has all changed because we found out that once we prescribed this medication for diabetics, they were losing a lot of weight. So pharmaceutical companies have this beautiful idea. Why can't we market this as a weight loss medication? But I want to make it clear, this was originally designed just for patients with diabetes.
Leave it to the pharmaceutical companies. And honestly, I started hearing about it because of celebrities, and that I'm sort of wondering if that's why people thought, oh, I can lose weight with this. They found out through, celebrities.
Yeah, I think it was Andy Cohen who mentioned I showed up to work on Monday morning and everybody around me had lost 25 pounds rapidly over the weekend. So, yeah, while it is a joke, Leslie, there's a lot of truth. A lot of celebrities are taking this medication who don't really qualify for it. Because remember, this is really a diabetic medication. However, the same medicine, Ozempic, is now marketed as an obesity medication under the name Wegovy. And it acts very simply. When you eat Wegovy, right. When you eat food, all these hormones are released in your body. It's called a GLP agonist. All that means is you eat food, this medication activates that agonist. The agonist talks to the brain, and the brain says, listen, you are full. You don't need that extra pecan pie. You don't need more pasta. So guess what? It's very simple. People start eating less. It's almost like an appetite suppressant. And if you go into a caloric deficit each day, meaning you are eating less than you are burning, so you will actually lose weight. The problem is most of us do the opposite. We eat way more than we are burning.
Right. Can you train yourself to get off of the drug and still have that mentality, or is this purely chemical? Like, can you not? Because this is like you're signing a deal with the devil. As soon as if you start this drug, you have to keep taking it.
That's exactly right, Barnes. If you take this medication, there's not really an off-ramp. You've got to be on this medicine pretty much for a lifetime. Otherwise, you're going to gain the weight back. Now, unless you are disciplined and you say, okay, Dr. Mathew, I will take this medicine, but I am going to change my diet. I'm going to hire a nutritionist. I will exercise. And I don't want to be negative, but at the same time, I don't want to be bullish about the drug. This medication can help the morbidly obese. It is disrespectful to see somebody who weighs 350 pounds and say, listen, I want you to go to the gym. They can barely walk.
Right.
They're short of breath. They're high risk of diabetes and sudden cardiac death. So this medication definitely has a place, but it's also very expensive. If you're not a diabetic and you're taking it just for weight loss, are you ready to spend $1,000 a month?
Wow.
And we still don't know long-term effects, do we? That's what I'm nervous about for my friends that are doing this and probably doing it for a lifetime.
That's right. We don't know the long-term side effects of the obesity component. Remember, again, when it comes to diabetes, this medication has been on the market. We know that this medicine is relatively safe, but it can have side effects, nausea, vomiting, because remember, the brain is telling your stomach that you're full, which means the food is hanging around for a longer period of time. You feel bloated. Sometimes you can get a condition called pancreatitis, mid-abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting. That can be dangerous. And there is a black box warning for patients with thyroid cancer. It could result in a very rare type of thyroid cancer.
All right, I just got a text from Queen. Now, Queen is on our show on Thursdays, Doc, and Queen does all the weekend activities, like, weekend plans. And Queen started Manjaro last Thursday, and Queen just said, okay, tell Leslie she was right. It's coming out of me like lava.
Yeah.
So
Manjaro is yet another medicine.
Hold on, Leslie, it's okay to laugh on the mic. Leslie just went way off mic to laugh.
Now I have to say, because I told him you're going to be in the bathroom a lot, and there's the proof.
Is that the deal? Like, when they say a lot, like someone listening right now who's considering the drug, what is a lot?
Well, here's the deal. Everybody reacts and responds to the medication differently. It is, to be fair, I do have quite a few patients on the medicine, and it's a relatively tolerable medication. But for those patients, 10 to 15% of patients, they are very unhappy. They are absolutely going to the bathroom frequently, sometimes 5 to 10 times a day.
Ooh.
And remember, you're looking at food very differently. You become nauseous. I mean, I love sweets. I love a pecan pie and ice cream. But when you look at that pie, you start feeling very nauseous. So it can take you to a dark place.
Can't you get hypnotized and get this same kind of effect?
Well, listen, you need a psychiatrist when you take medications like this, all jokes aside, because food really, a lot of it is mental.
But it's tempting. Right? People listening right now, so tempted. But if you need to drop 10, even 20 pounds, is this the route to go? Or should you just really, go to a nutritionist and maybe try to stop yourself from the big bag of M&Ms or, whatever?
Yeah, great question.
Barnes, I see about 10 to 20 patients a day. I am a huge diet and fitness doctor. I have not become complacent yet. I have not given up. But only 2% of patients will actually change their lifestyle.
Wow.
It is very difficult.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's really tough. And that's also why I think that if you pick the right patient, Ozempic, Manjaro, Wegovy can do wonders. The big deal about this medication is it's almost like having bariatric surgery without the surgery, because patients can drop up to 15 to 20% of their body weight in 12 months. That's a lot of weight.
We're on with Dr. Saju Mathew, Piedmont Physicians. We are talking about all the rage of Ozempic, Manjaro. What was the other one? Waperby? What's it called?
Wegovy.
Yeah, Wegovy, that everybody's getting all up in.
Yeah. So, listen, we're not, doctor, we're not trying to be negative about it, because obviously it is helping those with diabetes and obesity. We're actually talking about people we know who just need to lose 20 pounds. So if somebody comes into you and they really don't want to put in the work, everybody wants the magic pill, what is your recommendation?
Well, for that patient who is not obese, who doesn't have a BMI of 30 or higher, I would encourage them, listen, you've got to do it on your own. I still think that we cannot become complacent. We cannot let a medication take the place of a healthy lifestyle. If that happens, we might as well just give up. And a lot of people who are not obese, who just need to lose 10 or 20 pounds, Leslie, these are a lot of the people that are taking these medications, and they're taking it away from the diabetic.
Exactly.
Who needs this medicine.
How much of it is going to come out and end up being corruption? And I say that because in a little while, we're going to start seeing these cases where doctors were prescribing it and they shouldn't have, because not every doctor's above board, sad to say. And you're going to find that one person with a crazy whack side effect.
Yeah.
And they're going to go back and look, and they're going to say, well, they didn't have diabetes. They didn't have high blood pressure. And now what?
Right. I didn't practice at the time when fen was the big drug. I mean, weight loss medications have really had a big challenge. A lot of patients took fen years later, had cardiac problems.
Ooh.
So I'm not saying that this is going to be the problem, but obesity medications like Wegovy and the other medications that we talked about, basically they're really expensive, and you have to take it for a long time, because you have to look at obesity as a chronic condition. Just as how we look at high blood pressure and diabetes.
Well, Dr. Mathew, I think that you need to be the official doctor of the Morning X.
Yes.
Oh, I love
We
it.
need
so.
an
I
official
love it.
doctor to call upon.
Are there any resources,
Sounds
Doc,
good.
before we go, that people listening who are still curious after hearing all of this discussion about getting on these drugs, where should they go first besides just their doctor?
I think the first place to go is your physician.
Okay.
Because there is so much noise on TikTok and other social media. You don't necessarily want somebody's opinion, Barnes. You want to know the science behind the medication. Is this really a medication that I could take? And you've got to look at the whole picture. Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have sleep apnea? Are you at risk of sudden cardiac death? Or, not to be mean, but are you just lazy? Do you just not want to go to the gym in the morning?
That's me.
Listen, I do I do Orange Theory every day. Do I enjoy it? No, I don't. But I'm a huge believer that if you treat your body like a temple, you will get the rewards back.
So this Diet Coke and M&M's is not exactly the temple that you're building? Got it.
Well, you can get away with it.
All right. Dr. Saju Mathew, Piedmont
you.
Physicians, all about Ozempic and Manjaro and all those other ones. Thank you very much for coming on with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care, guys.
The Morning X
with Barnes and Leslie.
99.
X.